You will notice here on the flowchart thus far, we walked through our box on the left, in which we talked about chemicals, viruses, and radiation. When a normal cell has been exposed, increases the risk of carcinogens. Our next, our next topic, which is a very short topic, is that if there is a failure of your DNA repair, which we already kind of discussed with xeroderma pigmentosa, upon exposure to UVB rays, may then develop cancer. DNA repair defects. Let's talk about this in great detail. What you find here on the right is the fact that you have your DNA and you have a double helix. Next, you find depurination, and then you have what is known as a endonuclease, and then finally DNA polymerase, in which it then helps you put back a part of the strand, which is then being removed. You will notice here, please, that on the bottom strip from 5' to 3', that you have a nucleotide endonuclease taking out the G, and then you have a polymerase and along with the ligase, which puts it all together. Now what ends up happening on the right is the fact that you are not able to properly do it. Deaminase. Then you have DNA glycosylase. Then you have endonuclease and DNA polymerase. So these are the enzymes that you want to know. In general, from genetics, I'm not going to go into greater detail about this apart from the fact that some of these enzymes may then become mutated. Mistakes made in DNA replication are corrected by DNA repair genes, usually often detected by what's known as microsatellite instability. What is microsatellite instability, and why do you want to know this? If you are not able to properly remove a microsatellite instability, you might develop a condition known as HMPCC. Here, hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer. This may then give rise to a right-sided colorectal cancer. Clinical application of what we are looking at here, I'm not giving you information that is trivial. Every single point has serious clinical significance. So what then happens is that if there is a mutation in the DNA repair enzymes, then this then becomes fixed. What becomes fixed? The microsatellite. What is a microsatellite? The 126 nucleotide tendons that should normally be removed by the enzymes. The mutation is in one of the genes. At least want to know MSH2, MLH1. Memories that the mutations in MSH and MLH result in a condition called Lynch syndrome. What is another name for Lynch? Hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer, giving rise to what kind of colorectal cancer? more so right of left side. Right. Another condition which we talked about earlier with DNA repair mutations is your rhyming dimer with xeroderma pigmentosa. Walked through this in greater detail earlier. Upon exposure to UVB rays, men may develop certain types of skin cancer. Be familiar with the enzymes that we are seeing here on the right and what it is responsible for doing in terms of proper replacement. Our next big topic is the fact that we are going to take each one of these boxes. I'm going to first read them through you or to you, and then we will walk through them to show you that if you are able to satisfy each one of the criteria in this box. What are you doing? You are developing cancer. The first box on your left is oncogenes. If I gave you T814, you tell me Burkitt, and you would tell me what kind of oncogene. C-MYC. Lots of C-MYC gives rise to cancer. What kind? Burkitt. The middle box, remember the tumor suppressor genes are security guards. They are the guardians of your cell cycle. As you walk through your cell cycle, our major point of arrest would be between G1 and S phase. Remember G1 and S, your focus on your boards will be between G1 and S. The guardians for G1 to S will be RB and P53. If the guardians have been removed for whatever reason, P53 being very common, it is the most common mutated gene, it isn't it? And if P53 has been removed, there is nothing stopping the cell from going to a cell cycle. You will talk about this in greater detail. And finally, we will talk about apoptosis, in which if a cell is able to successfully evade apoptosis, then the cancer cell is never going to die. Clear? Each one of these boxes clinically significant. Talk about the types of mutation here. We will have to go through in great detail. RAS, you have heard of KRAS, NRAS, HRAS. Our focus will be KRAS. You have heard of TP53, and actually from henceforth, whenever you see the letter P in front of number and such, that to you should indicate that tumor suppressor gene. And we have RB being another big point of mutation translocations. 922. Well, apart from CML, I wanted to add another cancer that you need to know. Would you tell me what is the most common leukemia in a child between the ages of 1 to approximately 15? Acute lymphoblastic leukemia, T814. Burkitt, T1418, good. Follicular, T1517, AML, type 3. We will talk about this later. and gene. It says there is a gene, a mutation with APC. At some point, I will give you the interaction between APC and the beta-catenin. If this is then becomes mutated, what is your risk of going on to colorectal cancer in familial adenomatoid polyposis? 100%. What are you going to find in the column? A carpet of polypus. And association with familial adenomatoid polyposis. Might have heard of Gardner, and you know about the Turcotte. Next, we have BRCA1 and BRCA2. BRCA, breast cancer. Not only could it be breast, it could also be the ovary. Both will be involved. 1 and 2, RB, retinoblastoma. This is a normal tumor suppressor gene that GARS cell or GARS monitors supervises the quality of the cell as it goes from G1 to S phase. G1 to S phase, that is perfectly normal. If there is a mutation of chromosome 13 and the retinoblastoma has been removed, you remove the brick worried about retinoblastoma, and later on in life generally may develop osteosarcoma. TP53 is all over the place. Also controls and monitors the quality of your cell between G1 and S. If you haven't already, you put together P53 and RB. They will work together. If those are become mutated, these give rise to all kinds of cancer. P53 is the most common mutation that results in cancer development.